Quiet on set.
Roll camera.
Sound speed.
Mark, please. And action.
Welcome back to Students in Focus. I'm Katie, student producer at the Utah Education Network. In this show, we focus on the visual storytelling skills of Utah students. This week in the spotlight, we have a couple documentaries, 2 news segments, and an interview with PBS Utah host and producer Liz Adeola. Up first is Soccer Scrimmage by Noah, Tatum, and Tayden from the Voices of the West program at Spy Hop Productions. It features Brinley and her cousin JD, who started the scrimmages to get more girls involved in playing soccer in Blanding, Utah.
My name is Brinley Jones and I'm 15 and I'm going to be a sophomore in high school this next year. I'm involved with soccer, cross country, and track. I've just played soccer ever since I was little, really. Just having rec soccer and randomly doing random scrimmages with my family and going out and playing soccer. So I think that's where it really started, just when I was really young and growing up in the sport. My favorite position is middle midfield. Sometimes right midfield, that's also pretty fun. It's actually me and my cousin JD Ruiz. We started doing these soccer scrimmages to get kids more involved with soccer, especially the newer program in Blanding, and to be able to get more girls on the soccer team. We started doing these scrimmages at the beginning of May. I feel like Blanding could benefit from having these scrimmages just to bring more kids together and out and active. I helped start the soccer scrimmages to be able to get involved more with the sport instead of just being able to play it during soccer season. The current state of the soccer scrimmages right now is we have a lot of middle schoolers showing up, which is really good. We're spreading the program around. Our plans for the future of these scrimmages is we have talked about doing more practices almost, just to go over drills and just almost like a soccer club so that we can get better at it even on the off season. The soccer camp that's coming up is coming up in a few weeks. It's going to be 2 professional trainers that are coming down from up north and are going to be teaching us different skills. It should be pretty fun, so it's $80 per person if anybody wants to join. I have not really thought about pursuing soccer as a career. I feel like it'd be pretty cool and pretty fun, but I'm just gonna go with the flow and see where it takes me.
My name is JD Ruiz. I've lived here in Blanding basically my entire life. I play soccer and I love it so much. It's the only sport I play. So ever since I was little, my mom used to put me in the Blanding City Rec little soccer leagues that they did, and I don't know, I've just kept playing since then. I really like how aggressive I can be while playing. I like playing midfield. Brinley Jones, she's my cousin. Our moms are sisters. One day we were just we need to start doing stuff for the girls' soccer team because it's not the best, and it'd be really nice and fun if we could get people together to do scrimmages. So we decided to start an account on Instagram and just invite a bunch of people to come here to the fields just to play soccer, to make sure that those girls people who didn't know how to play soccer were introduced to it, and they kind of got the gist of it, so that when they do get into high school, it's an opportunity for them. They can, and they know kind of what they're doing. I think we started March, April, towards the end of the school year. The main goal, mine and Brinley's main goal of the soccer scrimmages, is to get girls more involved in soccer. I want my senior year of school soccer to I want to have an actual team that's committed. I hope that these scrimmages kind of help with that we don't have a coach, but at least we're playing. Right now, our scrimmages are still going, I feel pretty strong. We've always had enough people to have 2 teams so that we could all play. I hope that I see improvement with everyone, so that way it's just a lot more fun. I would like it if we could get a lot of people involved in it and actually going to the camp, because I do know we have professional players coming here it's a 2-day camp. They're gonna teach us how to play soccer, how we don't have a coach, so we don't have anyone to teach us that right now. I think I would like pursue soccer, not like professionally and have that be my life, but like something I do on the side, you know?
I'm interested in a career path that makes a lot of money.
I thought I wanted to do like strictly documentary journalism type stuff.
In the film world, I'd like to be either an editor or a DP.
Two will have to be closer. Okay. A little closer.
Thinking about going into like production.
I think I want to do cinematography now.
Right now I'm really looking to go into post-production because it's something I enjoy a lot more than being on set.
Maybe working more with sound, assistant directing, script supervising.
Action!
I chose Salt Lake Community College because I heard that their program was more advanced and more hands-on than any of the other schools around.
We're teaching people how to grab C-stands and set them up and put flags on them, use cameras. From day one, they're using post-production equipment and cameras and a lot of hands-on. So we got a Blackmagic Cinema camera, we got a Red Epic and a Red Scarlet camera with complete lens packages, matte boxes and the whole filters and everything. So that our students learn how to build cameras and learn how to do it properly, and they're able to go do that on an actual film set.
I've had a great experience so far. I've had enough support from all of my fellow students in groups making projects. I feel like I learn a lot from the teachers. I feel like I could probably leave with the associates and go on a movie set and be prepared.
Great, man. We put more blood in there. I think we can do it again. Yeah, we can totally do it again. I think that we can run this again. Okay, one more time.
Do you have a film or media event coming up? We'd love to hear from you. Visit our website at uen.org/studentsinfocus to share with us. Next, we have a piece by the students of Nick's News at Farmington High. In the first segment, we learn a little more about the sport of cross country. In the second segment, the students cover the importance of spreading awareness about cybersecurity. These segments earned third place at the Utah College Media Alliance The Futures Awards last year for Best Feature Video.
Ella brings us a story on cross country.
The cross-country team is doing fabulous. Let's meet a couple members on the team.
The team has done really good. We won region for both the girls and the boys, and then we're headed to state next week.
My favorite part about running is the people are all nice. They like help me do better. They push me and become a better person, you know. And then probably one of the hardest things is, so we race 5Ks, and probably like the very end of the race, you're like dead. You're mentally dead too. It's a really mental sport, but you just have to like push through it. You're like almost there. So that's the hardest part, I think.
The team has done pretty well. We're not as good as we were last year, of course, but we are still hanging in there, doing well. Still getting those wins, you know?
Keep up the great work, cross country. I'm Ella Johnston with the Nick's News.
Lucy brings us a story on cybersecurity.
Phishing. What is it? Phishing.
is the malpractice of sending fake emails to countless people in order to have at least one click on the email, ultimately stealing their private information like passwords.
Here's an example of a phishing victim.
Oh boy, free money from my friend Bob Smith.
What are you doing?
Entering my credit card information.
No, you're not. You don't do this. This is called a phishing email. These you do not follow ever.
Why?
They will steal your identity. They will get your private information. They will find out where you live.
This is the worst.
He was right. It was the worst. Nobody wants to have their information stolen. And you may be asking yourself now, how am I supposed to tell a phishing email from a real one? But that is exactly why we made this.
So the first thing you want to look at for a phishing email is usually the email address itself. A lot of the time they have some strange characters in it or letters. They just look really abnormal and don't make any sense, or it's by a person you don't recognize. And if you were to click on this picture, it would bring us to this site right here, which looks really sketchy in and of itself, as it's asking for my name, email, password, credit card information. You never, ever want to give out your personal information to a site that you don't recognize.
Stay safe out there, Farmington.
Oh boy, an email from my principal. Free money.
We're looking for student-produced films and videos to feature on TV. Learn more at uen.org/studentsinfocus to have your media considered for an upcoming episode of Students in Focus. Next is The Patio Diner by Alyssa Cage and Coyer, also from the Voices of the West program at Spy Hop Productions. Located in Blanding, Utah, these students wanted to highlight a local business in their community.
Hi, I'm Lori Metzger. I'm the manager here at Patio. My sister Lana is the owner. I've been working at Patio since the end of December in 2016. So I guess that's been about 6 years, 6.5 years ago. I was brought in part-time and then when we needed a manager, I was promoted to manager about a year later. So if I could change something in Patio, I would make it bigger. I would make the kitchen bigger. We're just so busy that we don't have enough room sometimes and the wait time gets kind of long. So I would just make the kitchen bigger and get bigger grills and more fryers for our fries. My favorite menu item is still the Southwestern chicken sandwich with grilled chicken. I love that sandwich. I think right now the most popular food is our Big B. It's like a double cheeseburger, and that sells really big. What helps us keep the prices down is mainly our vendors they keep us informed when, let's say, price changes occur with our menu items, and we just try to keep them as close as we possibly can to an affordability because we have such a good clientele here in Blanding, and they're always really good about referring us. So we just keep in contact with our vendors, and if anything changes as far as pricing, if it goes down, we actually can change some things, and if it goes up, we try to even it out in different areas. What's changed since the last time we had our interview was actually we added delivery service. When COVID came and we had to shut down the dining area, we added delivery to help us keep our business going. So actually, it's been busier since COVID. Our whole seasonal type of business changed. What used to be slower season has gotten busier, and I think we just all around have been busier since COVID. We were one of the few businesses that didn't suffer much at all during COVID. We stayed very busy, and we stayed open the whole time and kept our whole crew. So it's been pretty good since then still. As far as if there's any days that are busier than others, it is so unpredictable. I want to say weekends are still busier and nights are actually busier, which is the exact opposite of when I first started working 6 years ago. The mornings were busier, but now it seems like the nighttime is busier.
I signed up for audio apprenticeship as I wanted to expand what I could do with music and also just get to know more about how I could make it.
I signed up because I really want to do audio as a career, and this is just kind of helping further my knowledge.
I heard animation and free class.
There's this really cool place called Spy Hop, and I kind of fell in love with it. Some of the first skills I learned was how to use your voice.
As well as like how lighting works, how to build a camera and stuff like that.
I've learned to empathize with the audience more, which has helped me to draw more people in so they'd be more willing to see what something's about.
I feel like you learn a lot more than you do in like you would in a college class because you get hands-on experience in everything that you're doing.
It's a really good environment, it's a very good community. I feel like self-expression is like really empowered here. You're not scared to be who you are around people.
The environment is so great. Everyone here is so nice and accepting, and like we're all just like trying to follow our passions and learning and growing from each other.
Everyone's great. Super happy, chaotic, fun times.
For our final piece, we have a filmmaker spotlight. I had the opportunity to meet PBS Utah producer and host of This Is Utah, Liz Adeola. I got to learn all about her inspiring career journey and what makes a good host.
My favorite stories to tell, my favorite projects to work on, are projects that go beyond what I ever could have imagined they could go or be or do or accomplish. I have had stories that I've told where people in the community like rally together to show support and to help someone out of the kindness of their heart. And it's not like I was asking for that in the story or saying that the person I interviewed asked for that. It's just stories that can move the needle and not only, be entertaining for someone to watch, but to motivate people to make a change and to help other people. Those are my favorite stories to tell. I got involved in high school, pretty much just like you. We had a speech and debate class, and in that class, the teacher had a camera and allowed us to go around interviewing students for like the morning announcements and things like that. And I think even before then, I knew I wanted to be a news reporter. And so eventually I went to school for broadcast journalism, and from there applied to lots and lots and lots of jobs, and finally I was a news reporter for quite a while at commercial TV stations. In high school, we didn't have a broadcast class or like a broadcast journalism class, but I had this really amazing teacher, and she also had a friend who worked as a television news reporter that she linked me up with so that I could job shadow that news reporter for the day. And so I was able to take a day off of school to actually go and follow around a news reporter and see what her day was like, to see if I actually wanted to do that for a career. And at the end of the day, she was like, don't ever get into this business, but I did. And I actually ran into her years later working in Columbus, Ohio. She was an anchor out there, and I was what is called a multimedia journalist. And We laughed about her saying not to ever get into the business, and I was like, well, I understand now. I didn't listen, but I understand now. I actually went to a lot of places before I got to Utah. What led me here, working in commercial news, I jumped from station to station. So my very first job was as an overnight associate producer working at an NBC station in Reno, Nevada. And from there, I went to Midland, Odessa, Texas, where I got my first on-air job as a news reporter. From Midland, Odessa, I went to Decatur, Illinois to Columbus, Ohio to Indianapolis, and then from Indianapolis, I ended up here in Salt Lake City. And I just, at that time, got burnt out doing commercial news. It was very, if it leads, it bleeds. I was covering a lot of shootings and a lot of crimes and things like that. And my passion, what I enjoy doing, is helping people tell their stories. And so I wanted a chance to be able to do more feature stories. And just so happened that PBS Utah was launching a new series called This is Utah, which allows me to do that. My favorite thing about my job is meeting new people and learning things that I didn't know before, just learning. That was one of my goals when I was thinking about what I wanted to do when I grow up, when I was a kid. I wanted to be in a space and work in a job or have a career where I'm learning something new every day. And that happens with what I do. Just about every day I'm learning something new. I knew it was a struggle before I graduated, but seeing your colleagues and classmates get jobs way before you is pretty rough, but you just gotta keep at it. You just gotta keep applying, and one day your time will come, and one day you'll also understand why your route wasn't as direct as some other people, because that job of being a overnight associate producer, then turned producer, helped me rise to the top of the competition when a weekend anchor reporter job opened up at the station in Decatur, Illinois that I worked at. And I landed that job because the weekend anchor had to also produce the newscast. And I already knew how to do that because I had worked overnights in Reno producing those shows. I think what makes a good host is being able to connect with people through the camera. And to do that, you gotta be relatable, you gotta be authentic, and also show that you care about what you're talking about and are excited to share what you're talking about as well. We have a new season that's gonna be coming out in April. And so we have all new episodes featuring all kinds of fascinating stories. I personally have put together a piece about Pilar Pobil, who is a local artist, 97 years old. She was knighted by the King of Spain and received Spain's highest award because of her work in the community here in Utah, and how that has just gone, beyond Utah and into other spaces and helping other artists. And so being able to help tell her story has been very impactful. And so working on that for This is Utah. My goal is to always keep learning, to always, keep striving to get better. My editing is not that great. When I went from working in news to working at PBS Utah, I switched from working on Final Cut to working with the whole Adobe suite, and Premiere Pro is a beast of its own. And so I'm always trying to figure out ways to improve editing pieces so I can edit a bit more before I send it to the editors, who then do like color correcting and all of the fun, jazzy stuff with the video.
What advice would you give to a student in pursuit of the TV or film industry?
I would tell them not to give up. I would tell them to apply, even to the jobs that they may not qualify for. I think that this is an industry that attracts a lot of candidates, and it could take years before you land that first job. But the key is to stay at it, continue to improve yourself while you're applying, and apply for things that you may not qualify for, but then also apply for those jobs that'll get your foot in the door, because at least you'll be in the building working next to the people that have the jobs that you're trying to get, and you'll be the first one to know when that job becomes available. It just takes one yes to change your entire life and get you to where you want to be. So just keep trying no matter how long it takes.
Great. Thank you so much for being on Students in Focus. I really loved interviewing you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Students in Focus. Make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the next episode. And you can check out past episodes at UENVideo. And hey, did I mention you can submit your project to be featured here on Students in Focus? Catch you in the next one.